Over 200 corpses, over 20 tons of trash, hundreds of empty oxygen bottles, and tons of human waste, feces and urine. All pollute this once beautiful mountain. These are the things that people think of when they hear the words Mount Everest. Mount Everest has long been a mountaineering challenge, a summit that people strived for many years. They practiced, they climbed all the 8,000 peaks. But unfortunately, things have changed. Mount Everest is now a wasteland, a place where rich people go to climb to be able to brag to their bar buddies that, hey, I climbed Everest. It's unfortunate, though, that it's not the way it used to be, in that mountaineers would spend years getting ready for it, when now, if you have $100,000, you can pay for a fully loaded expedition. They will provide you with Sherpas, the indigenous peoples of Nepal, and they will climb up with you, carry a lot of your gear, carry oxygen bottles for you, so that you don't have a hard time breathing while climbing the world's highest mountain. It's unfortunate. In 1963, a mere 6 climbers were all that summited this mountain. 6 climbers fought tooth and nail to get to the top of this summit. And in 2012, over 600 climbers summited, double of which was attempted. 1,200 climbers attempted it. We're talking about 70-year-old men, blind men, a 12-year-old boy climbed to the top. This is the most difficult mountain. And it's because it's a money game now. And nothing with the environment or with the lives of these Sherpas, people, should be a money game. This is not the way that mountaineering works. There should not be a single rope set up every season by these Sherpas who risk their lives climbing up there when it's still too cold to be climbing these mountains, so that these people can all hitch up and get stuck behind the slow traffic, risking their own lives and the lives of these Sherpas. Now, these bottlenecking issues, obviously many of you may have heard of the avalanche that killed 12 people. It wasn't 12 expeditionary people. It wasn't 12 Westerners, 12 Europeans, 12 people who were touring the mountain. It was 12 Sherpas. It was early in the season. They were out there risking their lives to get the rope set up for these people. And now these Sherpas don't get paid a very large amount out of that $100,000. As that $100,000 that the person pays to get escorted by a Sherpa, only $2,000 actually makes it to them, which is, by the country standards, a lot. By human rights and common sense standards, completely insufficient. Now, what makes it worse is that these Sherpas obviously have a Buddhist religious and mindset, and they won't argue with the people who they are assigned to climb with or climb for in many of these cases. So these Sherpas will recommend, we shouldn't climb. It's too cold. You're not ready for it. We need to go back. Next season we'll try again. But they get summit fever, and they'll pay. They'll radio down and say, I'll give you X amount of dollars. Send up another Sherpa with another oxygen tank so I can make it. And those slow people keep putting more people in risk. And when people are in risk, people die. This is the infamous Green Boots. She's a woman who was climbing in the 80s, as you can tell by the neon-colored boots that no one wears anymore. She's hidden in a rock alcove because late at night, a true mountaineer, she hid there because it was too cold, she couldn't make it to the top, and she froze to death. And now she's been there for decades. She's not the only one. Out of these 200 bodies, recovery efforts, we don't even make recovery efforts for people who are alive. The mountain is just getting more and more littered with bodies and trash. Now there's laws that say you have to come down with all your trash. But no one in the Nepal government is up there following these regulations, making sure, enforcing these tourists to do what they're supposed to do. Which is unfortunate because despite this mountain being in their country, this mountain is on our earth. It's one of the 7 natural world wonders, and it's going to waste. And the worst part is not how bad it is right now, but how much worse it's going to get. It's growing exponentially, the problem, and no one knows about it. So this civil rights issue with the Sherpas, who are now finally refusing to work for the pay and the risks that they're putting out for it, and the environmental issue that we're facing is just too much. So what I propose that we do, what we can do here in the United States, is fight to get our lawmakers to restrict U.S. tourism to Nepal for Everest. Because the U.S. is one of the biggest purveyors of tourists for Mount Everest, and if we were to cut back all our spending over there, it would really put a squeeze on their government to regulate things better and get our tourism back over there, get the money flowing again, because that's what gets people moving, that's what motivates people. Now, there's also a system of permits, which is, the idea would be there's a set amount of permits. Once you reach that limit, there's no more permits, but unfortunately, there's no limit on the permits, which is a ridiculous concept. Finally, what we can do right here in this room, right now, is fill out this petition. It's on the whitehouse.gov website. If you fill out your information, I'll personally put it on there. It's minimal information. Nothing will be sent to your email. It's just your name, zip code, email. If you wish, it's up to you, totally. If we get 150 signatures on this, I have a Facebook page as well. I'm working on it. 150 signatures just opens up to the front page of the whitehouse.gov. At which point it'll pick up speed, and if we make it to 100,000 signatures, Obama will have to look at this petition. And it's a small step right now, but I think we get the ball rolling on this. Thank you.
Next, Christopher Flatley.